All right. Hey, YouTube, I'm Lucky, and it's time for the Trials Meta Report. This is where I analyze the last 3 weeks, what we're going to do in this episode, the last 3 weeks of Trials. Ever since Bungie came out with Update 3.40, they've completely changed the sandbox. They've completely changed the meta in Trials. If you haven't noticed recently, supers, roaming supers, stationary supers, anything, shutdown supers, it doesn't matter. Supers are really not an issue in Trials anymore. That is definitely a huge change for Trials. But in this video, we're going to focus entirely on the meta in terms of weaponry. So let's go ahead and pull up week 1 Bannerfall data, week 2 Endless Veil data, and last week, which was week 3, Wormhaven. So starting from the top, we can see Bannerfall, a little bit of a bigger map. We've got Dead Man's Tale there, no surprise. We've got Ice Luna, Thousand Yard Stare, Fellwinter's Lie, the Chaperone, Main Ingredient, the Battler makes it into the top 10, the Adored, the Messenger, the Last Word. So a bigger map, we're going to see some of those more long-range weapons come out. And obviously with time, as we have more Trials weekends, we'll see what's the real meta for, small, medium, or large maps. Endless Veil is the complete opposite, the smallest map we could possibly play in Trials. And Ice Luna takes that #1 spot by a mile there. You can see it's just got so many more kills than any other weapon. So people really starting to realize how easily accessible the Ice Luna is and how powerful the god roll of this weapon is. Let me know if you're using the Ice Luna in PvP in the comments below. The Chaperone makes it to the #2 slot. So now that they have nerfed pellet shotguns, these slug shotguns are so strong, especially if you're on controller. They have a lot of forgiveness, and you tend to get headshots pretty easily with this Chaperone, so keep that in mind. The Main Ingredient, we've got Xur's Main Ingredient, rises up the charts quite a bit, and I'm noticing more and more people talk about fusions and fusions being a bit of a problem in PvP. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below, but fusions seem to be extremely potent and used a little bit more frequently. #4, it goes to the Dead Man's Tale on the smaller map. Endless Veil. #5, the Fellwinter's Lie coming back. Talked a little bit about that. The handling on that weapon is significantly better because of some armor mods you can slap on it. And you can throw quick access sling on the weapon itself. The Last Word, so strong there, rises up all the way to the #6 slot there, but of course a smaller map. We've got the Fatebringer Time Loss still hanging in there, even though the Ice Luna is putting up insane numbers. The 7 Seraph CQC makes it to the top 10. The Palindrome, and then the Thousand Yard Stare squeaks into the top 10 on the smallest Trials map possible, which is pretty crazy. Moving on to Wormhaven, a more mid-sized map. So now we've got like a full breadth of Trials maps, right? We've got Bannerfall, big map, Endless Veil, small map, Wormhaven, medium map. Ice Luna, #1 by a long shot, 1.6. So this is the meta hand cannon. This is the #1 hand cannon to be using right now in PvP. This thing just absolutely slaps, kills in PvP. If you aren't using it, make sure you're using it. Most of you probably are, but now you have even more incentive to get out there and grind for that god roll, because this thing gets you flawless, that's for sure. #2 goes to Xur's Main Ingredient. Probably a lot of people pairing that with the Ice Luna, realizing how strong, how potent these fusions are in the current sandbox. This is even a mid-range map, and Main Ingredient still made it all the way up to #2, and one of the only weapons to get above 1,000,000 kills. #3 goes to the Chaperone. Like I said, this thing's so strong, so good. The Dead Man's Tale still hanging in there, even on a mid-range map. Fellwinter's Lie, still the top 5, still very strong. Easily the strongest pellet shotgun, unfortunately, Matador. #6 is a little bit of a surprise to me. The Ace of Spades actually squeaks in the top 10. I think the Ace is amazing. I love it. Let me know if you're using that in PvP. I think it definitely outclasses the Ice Luna in its usage and its power, but it doesn't have that inner accuracy, so people trying to jump up in the air are probably not going to enjoy it quite as much. Moving on to the next one, though, we do have the Palindrome Adept, always hanging in there, always a good choice. You can never, throw that pally away. Make sure to dust that bad boy off if you aren't using it currently in PvP or Trials. The Last Word, of course, hanging in there, makes it to the top 10 all 3 weeks. Doesn't matter the map size. You could throw us in the biggest map ever. People are still going to run around with the Last Word. And then the Lawrence Driver, oof. Now this has become a bit of an epidemic. This thing is pretty crazy. I played a few games against people that pretty much just could not miss with this weapon. Given the right angles and the right input device, I'll say, this Lawrence Driver is very strong, very potent in the current sandbox. And #10 spot goes to the Fatebringer, barely hanging in there in the top 10. Although I will say that the numbers for the Fatebringer seem to be dwindling more. So I imagine that we will see the Fatebringer probably fall out of the top 10 in future weeks as the Ice Luna just continues to just soar up to the very top. So keep that in mind. That's my prediction for the future weeks. Let me know your thoughts about this meta report. What do you think are the most overpowered weapons right now in the current sandbox? Obviously, Bungie has changed the abilities quite a bit, supers quite a bit. Should there be some weapons nerfed? Are there some weapons out there that you're finding to be absolutely painful when you play Trials or in PvP in general? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And that's going to be a wrap for this Trials meta report. Make sure to subscribe if you did enjoy. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.